In today's class, we're going to go through a pretty straightforward Vinyasa flow class. So this is a good class to do anytime. There isn't really a big focus to it, but going forward, if you're maintaining a regular practice and you're thinking, well, got 30 minutes to do some yoga, then this will be a great routine for you. I'm going to start in Sukhasana, nice, easy, cross-legged position. Put your hands wherever you want. I'm going to put mine on my knees, and we're going to find some nice length in our spine, sitting up nice and tall, and just taking some nice deep breaths. You might want to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, or whatever works for you. And we're going to bring our arms down by our sides, and with an inhale raise them up, and we're going to twist round to our right. I'm not mirroring you, so if you think you've gone the other side, don't worry about it. We're going to do both sides, but it's also going to look a little bit different to the way I'm doing it. And bring the gaze over the right shoulder, bring the right arm down behind you. We're just warming up the spine here. And then in one fluid motion, we're going to bring it all the way around. So our right arm comes to our left knee and our left arm comes behind us. Bring the gaze over the left shoulder. Softening into the twist on our exhales. Not trying to force anything at this point. We just start this class. And to be honest, in yoga, we're never trying to force anything. Allow everything to release and come back to center. And then again, we're going to bring the arms down by our side. And with an inhale, we're going to raise them up, palms meet above us. And we're going to take a lean over to our right side. Again, I'm not mirroring you, so mine might look the opposite to what you're doing. That's fine. Doesn't actually matter which way around you do it, because we're going to do both. So we're bringing our left arm over our head. Try not to fall too much this way, so keep your sit bones on the floor and try and get that bend through your side. And then we'll go straight over to the other side. Again, trying to keep those sit bones on our side, trying to keep a nice tall spine, but also bending over to the side. And then let the arm drop, and then we're going to roll forward, spin round however you want. We're going to come into all fours, into a tabletop position, and just take a moment here to get yourself balanced, so distributing the weight between your hands, between both knees. You can keep the toes tucked, you can lie them flat, whatever works for you. From here, we're going to go into some cat-cows. So as we inhale, we're going to arch the back, we're going to raise the gaze. On the exhale, we're going to round the spine, tuck the chin. We're just going to move through some of these in our own time. Let's do one more. And then we'll bring ourselves back to neutral, back to our tabletop position. And we're going to shift our weight into our left palm and take our right palm into the air, bringing our gaze to look up at the hand. And then we're going to bring it back down, thread it under our left arm, bring our shoulder and our ear down to the mat. And then bring ourselves back up into tabletop. And again, we're going to transfer the weight into our right arm as we take our left arm up. So stunning, I'm blinding myself. as I look up at the arm. Also close the eyes at that point if this is easier. And then again, we're going to thread that under, bringing our ear and our shoulder down to the mat. And then bringing ourselves back up to the tabletop position. I'm going to send our right leg back so it's out straight, toes are tucked. And just gently pulse the heel back just to start warming up our legs. And then hold it again gently. Don't want to be tearing our calves with any tough stretches here. And then we're going to send the left leg back. Again, gentle pulses. And then hold. And we're going to bring it in. I'm going to send our knees nice and wide. I'm going to sit back on the heels and send our forehead forward. And our arms above us in child's pose. Trying to melt our bottom down towards our ankles. Letting the head be heavy. And we're going to bring ourselves back up. I'm going to tuck the toes, move up and back into our first down dog of the class, finding that inverted V shape. And we're gently paddling out the legs and finding some stillness. And then we're going to walk ourselves up to the top of the mat. Inhale, bring our arms overhead. Down through the heart, down coming into mountain pose, so bringing our big toes together, allowing our arms to come down by our side. Imagine our head's been pulling upwards as our arms are pulled downwards. I'm going to inhale the arms up. I'm going to dive down into a forward fold. Keeping the legs fairly straight, you don't have to lock out the knees. Letting the upper body fall down. And then from here, bringing ourselves up into a halfway lift. So hands come to shins, straighten out the back, bring the gaze forward. And then come back down into that fold. So grabbing opposite elbows. And letting the arms come all the way down to the ground, planting the hands, stepping back into down dog. And we're going to take our right leg and we're going to step it between the hands. And we're going to bring our left knee down to the ground. Now, if you're like me and have old man knees, now is a great time to grab a jumper or a pillow or anything else. You just prop under that knee just to make it a bit softer. You might want to stretch out the toes. And from here, we're just going to try and push our left hip forward, bringing our right hip back to keep them in line. Sinking forward. You should feel a big stretch here. And we're going to bring ourselves back a little, so we've got this leg going vertical. We're going to stretch out this front leg into a half split. Should feel a stretch down the back of your leg here, toes point towards the sky, your front leg is straight. And we're going to bring this into gate pose, so I'm going to spin round. You can stay where you are, but you're going to send your right leg out to the side, and then we're going to bring the left arm up, and again I'm going to bend over to the side. And bring yourself back down into tabletop. So you'll be here. I'm going to tuck the toes, push ourselves back into down dog again. I'm going to use this chance to move my blanket. And then I'm going to step the left leg between the hands. And we're going to do the same on this side. I'm going to straighten out the toes, bring myself up. Find some padding under that right knee. Sink the hips down. Find a big stretch. And again, we're going to bring this leg back to vertical. Send the left leg out in front this time for half splits on the left side. Pull in our left hip back to find the stretch down our left leg. And we're going to take gate pose on this side, so sending the left leg out to the side, bringing the left arm down and the right arm over. Spin around a little bit. Same thing we did on the other side. And then again, bring yourself back down into tabletop. If you've been using anything to prop yourself up with, you can get rid of that. And we'll push back again into down dog. And then from here, we're going to bring ourselves forward into plank. Gently lower ourselves down. Or you can get down in any way that feels comfortable to you. From here, send the arms out in front of you. Bring yourself up into Sphinx pose. So, forearms lay down on the mat. Bring the gaze upwards. If you need an alternative to this, if you're pregnant or just can't put too much pressure on your belly, you can just do some more cat poses. So you can stay up here in tabletop and just bring the gaze upwards. It'll also get you a bit of a back bend. Or you can come down into Sphinx pose with me. Bring ourselves back down, bring our hands down to below our shoulders, and then we're going to push back, find our down dog. And from here, we're going to send the right leg into the air for three-legged dog. I'm going to step it up between the hands. And this time, windmill the arms up. Find our warrior two. So we have a nice bend in the front leg. Bring the toes on the back leg to 90 degrees. Arms in a straight line, gazing over the front finger. We're going to flip the front palm. Come back into reverse warrior. Reaching down the leg. Feeling pulling up through the ribs. And we'll come back to our warrior two. And we're going to straighten out that front leg. We're going to float ourselves forward over our right leg. We're going to come down into triangle pose. So our left arm goes up into the air, our right arm comes down. Probably meets somewhere on the shin. And then we'll come up into our warrior two again. And we're going to straighten out that front leg. Turn the toes so they're pointing outwards. With an inhale, we're going to bring the arms overhead and then come down into a wide-legged forward fold here. And from here, we're going to bend our right leg. Again, I'm not mirroring you, so yours will look the opposite to what I'm doing. And you should feel a nice stretch down your left leg. So left leg straight, toes to the sky. And we're gently going to walk our hands and take that on the other side. And again, using our hands, we're going to push ourselves back up into that wide-legged stance, toes pointing slightly out or to the front. And clasp our hands behind our back. And again, we're going to fold forward. Bring yourself back up. Find that warrior two stance again. And then windmill the arms down. Step the right foot back. And you should find yourself in down dog. And from here, we're going to take the left leg up. Find our three-legged dog again. And then we're going to step it through the hands. And windmill the arms up. So we've now got warrior two. With our left leg forward. Flip the front palm, bend back into our reverse warrior on this side. Again, pulling the ribs, pulling up. Getting a nice stretch down the front of our body. And then coming back to find our warrior two again. Straighten out our front leg, floating forward and down into triangle pose on this side. Coming back into our warrior two. And then windmilling the arms down again, taking that left foot back, finding our down dog. And from here, we're going to walk our feet up to the top of the mat. Coming up to stand, and I'm going to spin around. You can stay where you are at the front of your mat. But we're just going to take a tree pose here. So you can bring your foot to your calf, you can bring it up to your thigh. If you're struggling with balance, you can keep the toes on the floor, keep it down your ankle, whatever works for you. I'm going to go calf. You can press your hands into the heart center. You can also bring them out here if you like. We're just going to work on a bit of balance. And then we're going to set that foot down. Turn the toes out if you need to. I'm going to come down into a squat to Malasana. Again, pressing the palms together here. Doesn't matter if you keep your heels on the floor or not. Some people will be able to. Some of us find it really hard. I've actually got mine because of my wide stance and pointing my toes out. But if you're more like this, then that's fine as well. And then let's bring ourselves back up. I'm going to take that tree pose on the other side. So bringing the right leg somewhere onto the left leg. Trying to find a point to gaze at if you're struggling with balance can be really helpful, getting that fixed point, drishti. And then bring the leg back down. So at this point you'll be at the front of your mat, and we'll just reach down, step back, and we're back in our down dog. And then again we'll take our right leg into the sky for three-legged dog, and this time we're going to step it outside of the hands. Lower the back knee again. You can pad up the back knee if you want. We're in lizard pose, so our right foot is outside our right hand. You can point the toes out if you want. And again, just trying to sink the hips down. You might get the stretch here, around here. Might get a stretch here. And we're going to take this leg and we're going to walk it across our bodies and bring it down so that our shin is kind of horizontal across the mat. It won't be possible for everyone. If you need to bring it back here, that's fine. Wherever it works for you. And then bring your hands in front of you so we're kind of sitting down on our hips in pigeon pose. And then if you can, bring yourself down onto your forearms. Now, if none of this is working for you and you're just not working out, you can also do this on your back. So stay where you are if you're happy. If not, you can come on your back and you can bring this leg over. You can bring your hand through this way. You can leave it down here. You can stretch that leg out as much as you want. There's some good variations. If again you can't be on your belly, we're down here, and we're going to bring ourselves up and back into down dog. And then we're going to take that on the other side, so we're going to send our left leg into the air. We're going to step it outside the hands. Find our lizard pose on this side. You might also get a really good stretch along your quads, the top of your leg. And then again, we're going to take our left leg this time, cross our body, sinking the hips down in pigeon pose, or on your back in a kind of figure four, whatever works for you. And again, we'll come down onto our forearms on this side. Let's bring our hands back in, take some of the weight into there, maybe tuck the toes, bring that leg back. Again, we're in our down dog here. The head is heavy. We're going to bring our knees onto the floor. Bring the feet pretty much together. Straighten out, untuck the toes, and come back to sit on your ankles. Give you a really good stretch across the top of your feet. You can keep the toes tucked if this is too intense. Again, let's find some length in our spine. And we'll take our arms back behind our head, try and reach opposite shoulder blades, and try and get your arms, your shoulders to do the work rather than arching the back to get in this position. You have normal shoulder flexibility, it's inevitable there will be some arching. If you're an Olympic swimmer, you'll probably be thinking, wow, this is easy. For most of us, it isn't. But try and relax the back as much as possible and stretch out the shoulders. And then release. And if you can, walk out your hands back behind you. You want to make this more intense, you could even separate out the heels and sit on the floor. I'm not that bendy, so I'm not going to be doing that. And then walk your hands back in, all the way forward, coming into a tabletop. And we're going to give the wrists a bit of a stretch here, so if you can, turn your hands outwards so they're facing backwards. And then gently, and even just a little bend backwards here will probably put a lot of stress on them. So do be gentle, do take care. Just a little bit of a stretch of the wrists here. And bring yourself back forward to give you the room to spin your hands around. And then we're going to plant our hands, put some weight into them, and push our hips up and back for our down dog. And this will be our final down dog of this class. We're going to come from here to sit on our bottoms, whatever way works for you. We're going to send our legs out nice and long. We're going to raise our arms into the sky. With an inhale and then with an exhale, bring them down wherever they land. This is a killer one for me. Some of you will be bent flat with your belly on your knees right now. Don't let the back round too much. Just get a nice stretch along the back of your legs here. And wherever you end up, you might be bent double, you might be basically sitting upright like me. It doesn't matter, wherever you are is fine. And then from here, I'm going to spin around so you can see me, but again, you can stay where you are. Take the left leg and bring it so your heel is coming towards your bottom, and then take the right leg and cross it over. So you've got a V shape along the ground with your left leg, a V shape again, upside down V on your right leg, and then take your left arm and cross it over here. So hopefully that all seems to follow. And then we're going to gently unwind, first the arm, then the legs, and we need the same on the other side. So we're going to bring the right heel in, and then we're going to take the left leg, cross it over the outside of the left knee. We're going to take our left arm behind us, our right arm comes across the left knee. Again, we're going to unravel, starting with the hands and then the feet, and then bring yourself so that your head's on the mat, somewhere near the top. Bring the feet in towards the bottom, bring the arms down. And we're going to go into some bridge poses here. So on the inhale, we're going to peel the spine off the mat, pushing into the feet. And on an exhale, we're going to gently bring our spines down, vertebra by vertebra. And again, inhale, pushing into the feet, sending our hips up. And the exhale, gently rolling our spine down to the mat. Inhale, pushing into the feet, bringing the hips up. Exhale, bringing our spine back down to the mat. Let's go through some of these in our own breath. Make this your final one. And then find some stillness on the mat. And we're going to bring our legs into the air. I'm going to grab the outside of our heels, point them up to the sky for happy baby pose. You can roll a bit side to side here if you feel like it. You can also leave the feet on the ground if this is pressing your legs into your stomach and doesn't feel good. And if you can't reach, you can always just grab the knees as well. And then allow the legs as if you were kind of in tabletop the other way up. So 90-degree bend at the hips and the knees. Bring the arms into cactus and then let the knees just flop over to the right. So we've got a twist here through the spine, trying to keep our shoulders on the ground if possible. It's a really lovely twist to end the class with. And then send them over to the left side. Haven't got my knees down because I've just sat on my microphone. But if you can, drop your knees all the way. And bring them back to center. And allow them to stretch out on the mat. And we're going to set up for Shavasana. So bringing the arms down by your side. Allowing the feet to flop out. If you're in a cold room somewhere not super warm, you can pop blankets or additional layers on here. Releasing all of the tension through your feet, your legs, your hips, your stomach, your fingers, your arms, your shoulders, your neck and your head. And just taking a moment of stillness to melt into the ground. You can stay here in Shavasana for as long as you want. You might want to pause the video or just turn it off. Don't need me anymore at this point. If you're still here, gently bring yourself up into a seated position and keep the eyes closed if you wish. Maybe into a cross-legged, again, finding some length through our spine. Bringing the hands to heart center, dropping the chin. Just taking a moment to thank yourself for allowing yourself this time, this self-care. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.